Hello, healers! Outpost Rush is finally back again, but it's not without its bugs. I'm looking at you, crouch spammers and machine gun staff users! And I'm gonna give you some of my best healing tips for it, along with a general overview of how the game mode operates. If you want to get over 1 million healing like this, then stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my content. It means a lot and it really helps to support my channel. Also, come catch me live on Twitch to see some of this fun gameplay live. Links in the description. I'm going to briefly go over how this game mode works, so if you already know how it works, feel free to skip ahead to the timestamp for my healing tips. Now, let's break down the basics. Outpost Rush is a 20 versus 20 battleground, where you will be paired into either the blue or red team. There are 3 forts to be captured. You gain points passively for holding these forts, and by extension, the more forts your team holds, the more rapidly you gain points. In order to capture these points, you simply need to stand in the zone around the flag. You also gain 1 point per player kill. The first team to 1,000 points wins. And there's a lot of other things you can do to help out your team and protect your already captured points, including upgrading the forts through collected materials and summoning enemies to assist your team. You can also buy goods at your captured forts for Azoth Essence that drops from mobs if you don't want to spend it to summon enemies. Also, slaying Baroness Hane is super important when her timer is up, as the last side that gets the killing blow on her freezes the enemy point bar for 3 minutes, allowing teams to catch up in points or lock in a victory. Now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about healing in Outpost Rush. Unless you're queuing with a bunch of friends, pugging this game mode can be a bit chaotic on the healing side of things. I personally run Beacon, Sacred Ground, and Light's Embrace for this game mode for those big AoE heals along with spot healing potential. I'll have a more in-depth guide on the build I used here coming out soon. For this game mode, I prefer using Lifestaff with either Ice Gauntlet or Hammer as my secondary. I like Ice Gauntlet for the CC and self-defensive abilities. Having a panic button is amazing in group fights like this. And I enjoy Hammer for the massive CC potential when contesting points. You'll definitely also be seeing a lot of people running the infamous Paladin build with Lifestaff and Sword and Shield. I personally don't like this playstyle much, but it lets you sit in the thick of things if that's what you prefer doing. I also run Heavy Armor for survivability, since I do often play on points to help capture them faster. Now for some healing tips on how to maximize healing output in these game modes and help you win fights for your team. This first tip might sound like a no-brainer, but really make sure you head into every big team fight. Unless you have an organized group to help snipe capture points, you should almost always be where the majority of your team is in order to win the big chaotic fights that happen, especially in regards to controlling the middle point that is almost always contested. Not only will this give your team some epic survivability in these fights, you'll by extension be getting some crazy healing numbers for keeping them alive. Also, do try and space out your AoEs if possible so they don't overlap and cancel out other healers' AoEs. This tip brings up one of my beefs with mass healing in New World though. Can I request that enemy healing circles be red or have some visual indication that they aren't going to heal my team? If you see your team not getting healed by a circle, assume it's an enemy circle and feel free to overlap them. I also suggest, especially if you're in medium or light armor, to utilize high grounds on forts to stay out of danger as much as possible while you heal those below you. If you're running heavy armor like me, you can definitely camp points to help capture them. Just be mindful of your own health bar and heal yourself when needed. Also, don't be afraid to use mana pots, even if you're running your Ice Gauntlet block. You really should be using that skill for survivability and not for mana in these big fights. Also, this skill can be broken and it takes too long to regen mana in the time you could be using a pot to continue healing. Another tip I'll give is don't forget to heal people on the outskirts of fights. Often, they're helping keep enemy flankers off of you and the rest of the backline, and topping them off is just as important as focusing on the main fight. Spin that camera, healers! Also, be mindful of where your team actually is. In most situations, you aren't going to sit and 1v1 someone, so be sure to bring enemy players to your team so they can help you peel. It's not very reliable to assume they're going to come and help you out every time. And on that same note, be mindful of your positioning as well. In case you do get flanked, you don't want to be so far away from the fight that you'll die before you reach your team. Good positioning will keep you alive more often than not. And regardless of which healing build you use, by practicing these few tips, you'll see your healing numbers skyrocket. And hopefully you can help carry your team to victory. Keep watching if you'd like to see some PvP healer gameplay and how I approach group fights.
There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no.
I'm so good at pretending. Keep on smiling in my tiny bubble, like a movie without ending. Spending time like it was going backwards. Posters covering my walls, but they fall down. Diving deeper in the books that we read blind. Breathing in and breathing out to get smarter. Not working out for me, yeah. Got no money on my mind, tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the jokes you tell me. Keep myself inside the lines, neat and tidy all the time. If you ask me, I am fine. Got no money on my mind. Repeating patterns like the others. Meditation through the yoga lessons. Going greener by the minute. Soon I can't wear any other colors. Posters covering my walls, but they fall down. Diving deeper in the books that we read blind. Breathing in and breathing out to get smarter. Not working out for me, yeah. Got no money on my mind, tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the jokes you tell me. Keep myself inside the lines, neat and tidy all the time. If you ask me, I am fine. Got no money on my mind. Don't you worry about me. If I keep feeling like I'm missing something, don't you worry about me, yeah. Don't you worry about. Got no money on my mind, tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the jokes you tell me. Keep myself inside the lines, neat and tidy all the time. If you ask me, I am fine. Got no money on my mind.
And thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I hope that you found this video helpful.